So I was playing. Sorry, this is a late stream, but I was playing a lot of gas station simulator, which I might do some videos on. Who knows?
You haven't seen Crush's Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again.
Why all the fuss over a simple pickaxe?
No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pickaxe. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know.
Can you just get the guard to find
I
Chris?
prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Crush's, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. Well, well, it's been a long time since someone from the guilds bothered to make their way out here. So tell me, how's my brother Delvin? Still spending his nights at the Ragged Flagon trying to win Vex's heart? Good to hear. Tam Layabout never even bothers to send his own flesh and blood a letter saying how he's doing. Can you imagine? Anyway, I suppose you're looking for work. Well, I got bad news. This place is drier than a damn bone. Eager to make some coin, eh? That's the spirit. I'll tell you what. The guild's got a problem out here that I've been trying to deal with for years, but haven't been able to handle.
Disco has a problem out here.
Don't look at me like that. I'm all alone out here, with no one to watch my back. And besides, it's really my problem anyway. I caused it. A fellow Breton who went by the name Esmond Tyne showed up on my doorstep about a fortnight ago. He noticed the shadow marks like you did, and I thought he was one of us.
He stole something from you, right?
Right out from under my nose. Can you believe it? It's my own formula for improved bone mold. Took me years to perfect.
Where's Edmund Tyne now?
Well, before he ran off, he was talking some nonsense about trying to fence goods to the Reeklings at Castle Karstag. I told him he was crazy to even think about talking to those vicious little buggers, but he wouldn't listen. I'd bet a fat purse of coin that he's either dead or hiding out up there.
I'll get that formula back.
You do that, and I'll make sure you're set up right. You won't be disappointed.
Do you know someone called Merak?
Wait. Maybe. I don't know how I know that name.
Which is it, yes or no?
I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about this.
How'd you end up
A
in
fine
Raven
question,
Rock?
and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften.
Who taught you
I
that?
had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armor smith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since.
What's an ancient Nordic
It's
pickaxe?
the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Crush's borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it.
Is Stalrim a type of ore?
Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. You tell Crush's he better give that pickaxe back to me, or else.
Make way!
I work for... Murgle doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere
I'll give you
else.
this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
Do you know someone called
No,
Marowak?
wait. I recognize the name, but I'm not sure why.
Tell me whatever you
I
can.
don't know. I feel strange just thinking about it. A temple, maybe. Here on the island, something about a temple?
Teldrin Cerro, blade for hire. If you have the coins, I'm at your service.
We have all sorts of authentic dark elf food and drink here. Geldis spares no expense.
Do you know someone called
Did I know
Marowak?
someone by that name? Someone that wanted something. Maybe I'm just
What do you
confused.
want?
I can't be sure. Safe travels.
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I hate this place.
You don't like it
Don't
in
like
Soul's
it.
time?
I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that?
Why not return to
Oh,
Marowak?
believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone.
How'd your mother
We lived in
die?
a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, they attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible.
Do you know
I
someone
think
called
so.
Marowak?
But I'm not sure where I heard the name.
Is there anything you can tell me?
Don't know why, but I'm thinking about a temple here on the island. Maybe it was just a bad dream. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous place.
Vendel Cerro. Always glad to help, Serio. What can I do for you?
You know someone
Do
called
I?
Marowak?
I was going to say no, but somehow I feel like I do.
Does that make any sense?
Is he someone
No,
here in
I'm
Ravenworld?
sure of that. And yet, I think I had a dream of a temple, and he was there. Pleasant journey, Serio.
Welcome to the Retching Netch Corner Club, home of the finest Sioux jammer that will ever grace your lips. Haven't heard anything
Seriously?
lately, but check back with me. You never know.
Your aunt
There's
has an
actually a
unusual
funny
name.
story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of Sioux jammer in hand. He was one of my patrons who liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. Ah,
Does it sound
well, you see,
unusual?
this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him.
It's nothing.
The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink," and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground.
Perhaps that's reassuring enough for you, but it's something that's...
What
Well,
did the netch
the
do?
bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver.
pretty young daughter of
A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in the day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick.
Now I
True
get it.
story, friend. True story.
What's the specialty of the house?
The finest sujama to cross your lips, friend. My own personal formula that I call Sadri's Sujama. In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to the mixture that I think makes it taste better than ever. All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
I could help spread the word.
I was kind of hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the Sujama and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Severin.
You look able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost. Oh, how kind. Thank Elders for me, won't you? A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my folio.
Okay, I didn't mean...
My wife and I... Always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever.
Is magic
No,
involved?
only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience.
Do you know someone called Mirak?
I think so, but I can't remember how I know him. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I'm not sure.
Do you know him or not?
I'm not sure. I think so. But the only thing that comes to mind is a shrine near the Earthstone. Next time you're hungry, stop by. I always have plenty.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by. Well, tell Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it. That's not someone who lives in Raven Rock, I don't think. But it sounds so familiar.
Is he somewhere in Solstheim?
Maybe. I can't help but think of some sort of temple on the island. Why would that be? And don't stay away for too long.
I've sworn to... What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. Remember, we're watching you.
Find my pickaxe. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip.
You're already over here.
You tell Cresius he better give that pickaxe back to me.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown
As the
food?
wife to the second counselor of Raven Rock, Adral Arano, second counselor of Raven Rock. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday. He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still be there when I awaken. This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here.
Next time you're hungry, stop by.
I assure you, if I could convince Adral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings.
You haven't told him how
I'm
you
the
feel?
wife of a second counselor, and certain things are expected of me. The most important thing is that I stand by Adral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Why does that sound so familiar? There's no one here by that name, and yet I swear I've heard it. I don't know. It almost feels like a dream. Something about a temple on the island.
Where are you from originally?
Adol and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday, which doesn't seem likely given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. My husband is second councillor.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods? I work for Mokul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
If you're dealing, take that swill and pour it down a well.
Well then.
Fight well.
Teldrin Cerro, blade for hire. If you have the coin.
Welcome to... Sorry. Gildas won't allow me to drink while I'm working at Vanetch. Until next time.
Excuse me.
I'll give you this warning once.
You got a
Stay
problem,
out of my
you
way,
talk to him.
and we'll do just fine. If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing to remember. Pay your debts. or
Mokul
end
doesn't
up
lend.
late.
You looking for trouble?
All right, then.
Stay out of my way.
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island.
Okay.
Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our faith alone. Outsiders aren't welcome here. Get that vile liquid away from me. Mirag. It sounds very familiar. Not someone here, but I'm not sure I can recall. I can't be sure. I know I've heard that name, but it doesn't feel real. Does that make any sense? Non-believers are never welcome. The reclamations herald the dawn of a new age and the downfall of the false tribunal.
Okay.
If you're in need of anything material, Attendant Hilaire can assist you. There's something you need. Elder Arthroloth is grooming me to be his eventual replacement. Soon I'll be running.
Obey our laws, or suffer the consequences. There's nothing beyond the bulwark except wild nords and ash wastes. You think you have it bad? I trust you're not planning any trouble. What can I do for you, friend?
You aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you?
On behalf of House Red, good old Geldis is always managing to keep our spirits up. And our eyesight hazy.
My husband is second counselor,
Thank you.
so I certainly have the means to How much longer do you intend to serve as
Do
the
I?
shield, Admiral?
What a strange
Veteran
thing.
Council tasked me with keeping Lero
It sounds so
alive, which I've
familiar,
done without question for over
and yet I
100
cannot place the name.
He's the closest thing I've had to a brother.
I'm
We
not
all
even
owe
sure.
our lives.
I can
Might have
picture a
suddenly
temple
turned my back.
here on Solstheim.
I'm sorry, my
Must have
love.
been a bad
It's this
dream.
island. It's never felt the same since
You've never heard of House Redorin? We're the mightiest of the great houses, and we lead the council, the ruling body of Morrowind.
Departed our homeland. All we can
This
do
isn't
is
Skyrim,
make the most of
Outlander.
what we have.
A group of powerful and influential Dunmer families have been ruling Morrowind for millennia. They embody a council made up of 5 great houses: Telvanni, Dres, Indoril, Sadras, and Redorin. Well, of course, with 4 other houses on the council, someone has to keep the rabble organized. Our house leads the council by virtue of our preeminence in battle, wisdom, and ancestral glory. Yes, I imagine it would to someone not of our people. If you're interested in pursuing the subject, help yourself to any of the historical volumes in my library. Solstheim is theoretically under my rule, but without revenue from the mine, I lack the resources to actually govern anything but Raven Rock itself. Not that there's much beyond the confines of our town anyway. Well, there's a small enclave of Nords to the north in Skarl Village. They pretty much keep to themselves, and we both like it that way. Then there's Tel Mithrin to the east. The Telvanni live out there. Sort of a strange lot. But since we're both from Morrowind, we get along. Other than that, Solstheim is crawling with bandits and Reeklings. But that's to be expected living in a frontier like this.
Which I've done without question for
What happened to
It
the
used to
mine?
be one of the richest ebony mines in Morrowind, but it dried out years ago. Now, we're barely holding out here. Without the mine, Raven Rock doesn't feel like it can last much longer.
Never felt the same since we left Vardenfell.
My doors are open if you wish
Your
to
visit
see
here would be...
Raven Rock.
Every Dunmer left a piece of themselves behind when they departed our home.
Misery. Squatting isn't tolerated in the abandoned buildings. If you need a place to stay, head to the north.
If you're looking for the East Empire Company, they've been gone for over 100 years.
Mook, you looking for trouble? Stay out of my way.
Want to buy anything? I'd be on the first ship. Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks. Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude. The biggest warehouse they have in Skyrim. Bah, you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my words. The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock, and when they do, I'll be at the top of their list. I think I maybe had a dream about someone with that name. It was very strange. Was I building something? A shrine down on the beach near the Earthstone? I'm not sure. If you need any supplies, you know where to find me.
It gets lonely out here, you know.
Miserable. At least my father will let me drink whatever I want without complaining. Tell Geldis I appreciate it. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous
Welcome to
place.
Raven Rock, traveler. Could I interest you in any fine ash-grown foods? If the quality's right. Next time you're hungry, stop by.
Looking for any I should mix some of this into my next potion. Who knows what would happen? I don't think so. Though it sounds like a name I've heard before. I hear that name, and I see a temple here on Solstheim. What could that mean? Remember, I have plenty of potions and ingredients if you're ever in the market.
Oh, my father and mother are the richest on the island, and that includes Councilor Morgan. If you ask me, my father knows how to run things better.
This island's nothing but a pile of rubble. What's the point trying to make a life here?
Damn it, woman. I said to leave me be.
My apologies. Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you. That foolish old man thinks he's 30 years younger than he is. He's going to get himself killed traipsing around the mine. He's convinced himself that there's some sort of conspiracy involving the East Empire Company and the mine's closure. We came across some old letters that belonged to his great-grandfather in our house, and he believes every word written in them. Cretius's great-grandfather worked for the East Empire Company. The letters mention some sort of discovery he was sent to investigate. There's really nothing remarkable in the letters. I don't know what he's so excited about. Gratian Corellius. He was an explorer for the East Empire Company. They'd send him all over Tamriel when they had difficulties in a mining operation. Poor man. Can you imagine doing all that dangerous work just to end up dying at your own doorstep? There was a horrible accident, and he was killed when one of the tunnels collapsed. They were never even able to go down there and recover the body. The East Empire Company sealed that section off to prevent any more tragedies. Cretius is convinced it's a story cooked up by the company to cover up something else, but I don't know.
You don't agree with Christians?
My beloved is almost 80 years old, and I think the shock of finding one of his ancestors' things has left his mind a bit confused. I love him dearly, and I support everything he does. But I can't let him chase this silly idea, or he may end up joining Gratian in a rocky grave.
You knew someone called Mirak.
I think so, but from where? I can't recall.
Try to remember.
It's difficult. Something about it doesn't feel right. A temple here on the island. That's all I can recall.
Had to meet Christians.
To understand how we met one another, you have to appreciate what he's going through. Cretius is a third-generation miner. All his life, he's lived and breathed nothing else. By the time Cretius came of age, the ebony mine in Raven Rock was shut down. He took that quite hard. Our home has been in his family for over 200 years. Leaving would have been like abandoning precious memories. Instead, he stayed on Solstheim and spent most of his life prospecting for a new ebony source. Sadly, it never surfaced. A decade ago, this drove him into a deep depression. He shut himself inside his home and refused to come out. It was after refusing to allow anyone to bring him food, Counselor Morvain ordered his door to be knocked down before Cretius starved to death. I was a temple priest at the time, and they had me use my healing arts to restore strength to his ailing body. I stayed for a while and cared for him, then I suppose we fell in love.
You're a priest at the temple?
Far from it. In fact, I'm no longer welcome there.
Why?
In all honesty, it came down to a disagreement between what I believe and what Elder Othraloth believes. I'd prefer not to get into the details, but let's just say our opinions about the current status of the Tribunal vary widely. Be careful out there.
Who in the blazes are you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why should I tell you? I don't even know who you are.
Perhaps I could help.
Maybe. Been difficult trusting people lately. They think I'm crazy. But mark my words, these mines hold a secret that could put Raven Rock back on the map. A secret the East Empire Company swept under the rug 2 centuries ago. It killed my great-grandfather and left Raven Rock with a worthless and tainted mine.
Who's your great-grandfather?
Gratian Kyrelius. He spent his entire life exploring ancient ruins across Tamriel. And he died in these very mines almost 200 years ago.
How did he die?
The East Empire Company called it a terrible accident, claiming that he was lost in a rockfall. But I know better. My wife and I were cleaning out our home, and we came across some of my great-grandfather's things locked in an old chest. I found an unsent letter he'd written to the East Empire Company, and a key. It describes a discovery that was made in the mine by some of the diggers. They wanted Gratian to take a closer look. The East Empire Company must have felt it was of great value, as they locked that section of the mine off from everyone else. It is. Well, I assume it is. I haven't been able to find the entrance. Now you're starting to sound like everyone else. I'm telling you, there's something big down there. Something that the East Empire Company wanted to hide from everyone. Look, my wife nags that I'm too old to go traipsing around these mines chasing my story. Time's my enemy. It's caught up with me before I could find the answers that I'm looking for. I do. I want to know what happened to Gratian, and what the East Empire Company is keeping from all of us. Gratian kept a journal of notes about his discoveries. If you can find his remains, I'm hoping it will help. Here's everything I have. The letter, the key. Please, do this for me, so I can finally regain the respect that I've lost. He's begging for patrons again, eh? Well, I suppose I could have just a bit. Be careful.
Okay. I'm gonna stream off right here.